Hello and welcome to Shoot the Shit with Squeegee. I'm your host, the Squeegee of Justice. You may know me as a partner and mod at Trial TV Live, but tonight I'm coming to you with a side broadcast, a place where you get to know me a bit better and I get to know you. So join me and let's go shoot some shit. Well, hello there, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Got a pretty good show for you. Jules was going to join us, but she was not feeling well, so she's resting. But she's all well. She's in the chat, so if you guys want to say hello to our wonderful Jules, she is in our chat. And we have a special guest, somebody you know and love, Murt from the desk. Murt will be joining us. Hey, Rachel B. Let's see who wins the internet, as Scott likes to say. Ricky Watson, howdy. I'm gonna shamelessly steal that from Scott. Ricky Watson, you win the internet for being here first. Julie, one of our fantastic mods, is here. Hello, thank you, Julie, for being who you are. Love you. Trial TV Live. Who's that? The Squeegee of Justice. Who are those people? Who are those hackers? Those spammers. Let's see who else is with us. Jules, I said Jules is with us. She's resting comfortably. She's feeling good. She is in our chat. So you guys can always hit her up there. Let's see who else. Julie's very, oh yeah, the computer. Julie, we were talking about computers earlier, chat. And Julie said she bought her first computer in 1984. And then I'm highly impressed, Julie, with the specs. You like rolled the specs out like you knew them like the back of your hand. That's pretty cool. From the desk of Murt Witness One. All right, buddy. We're hoping that you can pipe in. Don't see you yet. I see you in the chat, but I don't see you yet in backstage. So let me know if you're able to hook into us. If not, I'll just call you and we'll just put you on speaker or whatever. Rachel B, we love you. Yep. Glad you're in the chat. Who else do we have? Janice. Nice of you to join us. Appreciate it. Rachel B. Oh, hey, Chris. Oh, hey, Rachel. Let's see who else. Leah the Empty Nester. Hello. Always good to see you in the chat. Thank you. Traveling Teresa. I hate computers. Nan Wortham. Hey, Jules. Feel better? Yeah, Jules. We hope you all. Absolutely every one of us hopes that you feel better. I think I'm actually getting bit by mosquitoes right now. That's living on well, it's not the tiny homes community situation. It's living next to a lake. And of course, that's mosquito heaven. Jay. Hi, Jay. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. If you guys have questions for Murt, please drop them in the chat. Erin is with us tonight. She's going to be collecting all of them, and we will get to them down the road. Haley Mouse, good to see you. Thank you for joining us as always. Love to see you in the chat as well. What a day of court. I agree, Haley. I agree. Joan Parkin. Hi, Jules. Take care, love. Yes, Jules, everybody is sending you their love. I'm sure you can feel it. Vicky Vakina. I went to the wrong chat. Hi, Al. Where did you go? Which chat did you go to? Yes, Rachel B. Hit that like button. Please and thank you. Ohio Palm Mom. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Sean Turney. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right. Hello, everyone. Hello back to you. Hugs and kisses to you, Jules. Haley Mouse. Squinting Cat. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. I should say. I love your little, well, your profile, your handle, and then your profile picture. Sean Turney. Hey, Jules, rest up. Yep. like. Rachel B says. Jules, I have the skeets in my tiny house too. I know. I'm literally getting like hammered on my feet right now. Oh. Murt, did you talk to Sarah's girlfriend? Wait, did you talk to Sarah's girlfriend? Rachel B? Was there Sarah's girlfriend? Like girlfriend? Or Skeeters in Florida, say it isn't so. Yeah, Traveling Teresa, imagine that. If you see me fidgeting, it's because I've gotten like 5 bites on my lower extremities and they itch. Camper for Life 22. All right, we're going to get to questions later, but I'll answer this one. Question, whose cell phone keeps going off? Actually, Murt, when he comes online with us, he can answer that. But what we're going to do is get your questions together, and Aaron's going to collect them all, and then we'll bounce. We'll go through them later. That's probably the best thing. I'm just welcoming in people right now. So Lori Wallace, yep, take a second and smash that like button. We love that. Murt, you need the link. I emailed it to you, but I will, I texted it to you and I emailed it to you. So what more can I do, Murt? What do you need me to do? Orphan Annie, I'm starting to see Sarah different. The leg stabbing was powerful information. Yeah, it was. There were some things that happened today that made me pause for a brief moment, but we'll get into all of that. Jewel said I talked to her yesterday. The girlfriend, I'm assuming. Oh, so Sarah has a girlfriend. So is that true? I mean, is she's swinging that way now? Hope Case Unwinder. It's the epicness that is in the afternoon. Yes. Send again. Okay, let me send that link to Murt, everybody. Just bear with me for a second while we get Murt online here. All right, Murt, I sent it to you when you said at 6:44 I'm in the studio getting set up. I sent it to that response, but I will I'll send it to you again. Bear with us, chat, while we send this to Murt. All right, Murt, I sent it to you in that I responded to your saying you were getting set up, as well as a new email I just sent it to. So let us know if you got that. That was email. I sent it to you in email. Oh, Julie's gifting memberships. Thank you, Julie, for doing that. Hey, Dwayne, how you doing? Good to see you. I hope you're feeling better. It seems like you're getting through it, which is good to see. I'm glad you're feeling better. Okay, Lori, love hearing the frogs and cricket in the background. Did you guys see the? I posted a video of there was a little tree frog on the fence posting here, and I posted that. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. If not, I think I took some pictures. Let me see. And yes, Aaron, you sent it as well. So Murt, you should have it. Please let us know if you have access to it, and if not, we'll just call you, and because I don't want to take up too much more time. All right, here, check this out, guys. Let me see this. Yeah, little dude. So we got to name him. Oh yeah, and then here's my view. So there was a party. There was a party going on over here last night. So I was hanging out on this bed. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Bear with me. Oh my God. Anyway, I was hanging out on. Oh, that's a video. Oh yeah, that's a video I took. Oh, okay. I took this video and I posted it. Anyway, I'm hanging out on that thing, and there was a party going on across the water, and live music, and they were pretty good. They were playing like YouTube. They were playing U2 and REM and Three Doors Down and just some kind of cool stuff. Yeah, I was just hanging out there after our before our live, maybe, or after. I know it's after our live, and that's when I took the video of that frog, which was pretty cool. Yeah, Vicky Vakina Ribbit. We call him Ribbit. All I keep getting is room page and not invite. All right. I don't know what to tell you, Mert. You can put a link in here. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that because that's not going to work. Mert, how about we just call? Aaron, what do you think? Should we just call Mert? What do you think? All right, just bear with us for a second. Okay, yes. All right, Mert, I'm just going to give you a call. We'll do it the old school way, Mert. We're going to go back to just think of us as like, was it Johnny Fever and Venus Flytrap from WKRP. We're just going to give you a call. Let me know, chat, if you guys can hear okay. And Mert, let me know if you can hear okay. This is Dr. Johnny Fever calling in. Mert, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It keeps ringing.
All right. Chat, can you hear? Mert, go ahead and give us a tester for a moment. Go ahead and give us a test.
Okay, we're going to have I think we're going to have a lag time like we did the last time.
We're going to have a what? Go ahead and talk, Mert. Let us know you're there, buddy.
Time delay.
There's a time delay?
Okay, let me turn this all the way down and see if this. Yeah, there's a time delay.
Well, don't look at the computer. Just talk to me on the phone, okay?
Okay, now.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
All right.
The Thanksgiving episode is just
I'm gonna mute.
beyond funny. As God is my witness. I mean, it just doesn't get any funnier than that.
Okay, now let me see if I can hear you through my speakerphone.
Okay.
And I can't hear you through the speakerphone.
All right, just.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, can you hear me? Check 1 2 sibilance 1 2.
Okay, for some reason my speakerphone's not working, but okay. I can hear you now.
Okay, everybody in chat, can you hear Mert? Okay. Mert, why don't you say recite the alphabet for us for a second?
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P and all the rest of the letters that I just can't seem to remember. My memory sucks. Okay,
Seeky Side says yes. Everything's okay. Sean, yes. Camper for Life, yes. Okay. Share Bear, all right, cool. Glad you're here.
All righty, we'll go this route.
Okay, we'll go this route. All right. Sorry, you guys are going to have to just look at me and what's behind me, and then I'll do whatever. Mert, okay, we did a live with Mert for lunch today. If you guys saw that, cool. If you didn't, definitely go check that out. But we're going to recap everything with Mert tonight, and he's got some really good stuff to tell us. So, Mert, let's start from the beginning in the morning. Why don't you, let me just pull up who we ran through. Let's see, we had day 4 morning, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, we had 5 witnesses in the morning, and they went through, what did you call it? Rocket docket?
Yeah, we call it the rocket docket here. Yeah, we went flying through all these witnesses, and most of them were law enforcement and background witnesses for the introduction of certain videos. Mm-hmm. And the TV video came in where he was smashing the daylights out of the TV, and we had the psychiatrists and psychologists come in, mm-hmm. and they talked for a while, and they were showing pictures, and so it was kind of a fairly routine day. The main thing of the show that they did was, number one, they showed all the injuries to her again, and because they said, do you recognize this picture, that picture, and so forth. And we got to see 2 videos of him smashing I don't know if I can say the word or not, but anyway, he just messed up that TV big time.
Yeah.
And he hit it with the same baseball bat that would hit him.
Yeah. The irony of it all, right?
And so that was the main thing from the morning, is just getting all these witnesses. And we had this charming old lady that came in, and she is the neighbor of Sarah over in the apartment complex.
Yes.
And the purpose of her.
Pearl Walker or Burl? I thought it was Pearl Walker, but
probably Pearl Walker.
Miss Walker, yeah.
But anyway, she came in, and in a wheelchair. She had a stuffed animal on her cane. Real charming, grandfatherly lady. Everybody loved her in the courtroom.
Yeah.
And she was there to say that she saw injuries on Sarah's body, and Sarah was upset, and that they, it was one of these things where it's just every once in a while the neighbors will have small talk and then they go on. There wasn't really a deep relationship there.
Mm-hmm.
And the unfortunate thing is that she got confused. Both of the defense and the prosecution were having a hard time with her because, number one, she's hard of hearing.
Yeah.
And number two, she just kind of was a little bit confused and not sure if either one of them got much done with her. And everything, the prosecution did ask us, said, have you ever seen police cars there? And she said, oh, yeah, a couple times. And that kind of blew up the defense because they didn't want the prior arrest to come in.
Right.
But the woman said, oh, yeah, well, police cars come here all the time and all that. And I said, whoops.
Yeah. Now, I read somewhere that, or somebody said that they meaning Sarah and Jorge, called the police like 15 times or 19 times.
Yeah, that was a regular. This is a regular thing. They would.
Yeah.
Because I remember one video that I came across that I don't know. I don't think it made it in court, but they actually showed him being arrested, and he was trying to give her a phone number for his mother so he could get bailed out. Mm-hmm. And the female cop that responded kept trying to get her to go in the house and get out of the way because she kept coming towards Jorge. And the cop said, no, go, get away, stay away from him, right. And all this.
Right.
And he got arrested and whisked away.
Right.
And Florida has a law that normally in these things, if someone is called, if they're called to a domestic and they see injuries on both people, both will get arrested.
Yes.
It's just, they're not gonna take the chance. They'll arrest the both of you and haul you off to the county jail.
Right. Yeah.
And so they, I'm not sure what happened there, but he did get hauled away, and she threw a fit. She said, I want to withdraw charges. Too late for that.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah.
So that's where we went with that one.
Yeah, we did talk about that at lunchtime, and Chad, I want to, if you guys are in the States or wherever you are in England or Europe, is that true where you guys are? Where in Florida, if you call 911 and there's like, if I call 911 on somebody and there's evidence that they're damaged as well as me, then that person is gonna, or we both are going to go to jail, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, both of them are going.
I have a feeling that might be statewide, but guys, let me know in the chat. Let me know if that's true in your neck of the woods as well. Murt, I just want to just real quickly just run over. Okay, so day 4 morning, we had Deputy Ramirez Delgado, Corporal Alden, Detective Copsel, who was a recall, and Delgado, the deputy and the corporal were like 10 seconds. I mean, they were just like boom, boom, boom. They were really quick. Then Copsel came in and she had some attitude, which, understandable. And then we had Dr. Michael Brannon, the psychologist who was the professor. Let's talk about him. What were your impressions about him?
He knows his stuff. He's a professor.
Yeah.
And he actually teaches this stuff. And he came in and I think he damaged the defense.
Yeah.
Because, I had a brief discussion with him outside the courtroom. And what he told me was, when we come into a case, it doesn't matter who hires us. Mm-hmm. We give our honest impression. We don't favor anybody. We just give the exact points that we're trying to make when we testify.
Yeah.
And on cross, the prosecution, the way the questioning was going with the prosecution, it did not help the defense.
No.
And it countered everything that they said, because he was saying that, both male and female can be victims and so on and so forth. And, it doesn't deter from her being responsible for what she did.
Right.
So I think whatever the defense was trying to get across got washed out.
Yeah, I agree, and I think a lot of our chat thought the same as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there was one other person before. Yeah, then it was Unella Uadan. She was a recall. She was the phone extraction expert, so they recalled her, and that's when we saw the TV being smashed.
Yeah, that's when the TV came in.
Yeah. So a lot of people just real quick, a lot of people in the chat right now are saying that may have been a setup. And you and I talked at lunch as well that at first to me it was like, whoa, that is pretty intense, not damning per se, but that definitely is intense. But we have no context whatsoever. We don't know if the TV was still working. We don't know if, and Sarah wasn't saying, stop it. There was no response whatsoever from her. So what?
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. It was like watching a YouTube video of somebody smashing a TV set.
Yeah, tell us about that. You said that at lunch, but in case the people at lunch didn't hear that, tell us about that.
There's people that will they'll go on YouTube and they'll either drop something off a building like David Letterman used to do, or they'll just get on there and they'll smash things and destroy things. This is one of those weird things they do.
Yeah.
And it's like, I brought up that European group that they throw things off a dam.
Yeah.
And, they've thrown TVs, bowling balls, lawn chairs, even a car. Bicycles.
So is
all kinds of stuff.
Is that like a artistic thing, or are they just being like, what
I think it's just like Letterman. They just say, we're going to throw this thing off the dam and see what it does. And one of them was they had after the car got at the bottom of the dam, they were throwing things to see how much damage it did to the roof. And they threw an amble off there, and it did a bullseye and went right to the car. Boom.
Of course.
And they were throwing all kinds of things off the dam.
Wow. Well, it's like it's like a modern day Jackass, or back in the 60s or the 70s, and probably even nowadays that's what rock and roll does. That's what rockers do.
Yeah, but you can go on YouTube and do a search, and this stuff will come up.
That's really funny.
It's really weird.
That's really funny.
And so he basically just. He stood there, it's like he posed with the thing for a minute. He was standing there leaning on the back.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay. And all of a sudden, he just waylaid that TV and ruined it.
Yeah. And
there were parts flying off it and everything else. And
nobody
got excited about it. They just sat there and said, all right, he's going to beat up this poor little TV.
So Haley Mouse has a question. I thought it looked like she was allowing him to hit the TV like it was broken, so he was smashing it up. What was your impression? Yeah, what was your impression? Like, did the jurors, did they react to it at all? Were they were stoic?
No, they just sat there and watched it. They were stoic.
Yeah.
I would think they were going to laugh at it, or but they didn't do a thing. They just sat there and said, "Well, guys busting the TV. I don't know what they're trying to prove with this one." But
there was no context, no nothing, no response from her. Now, Traveling Teresa says, if you look close enough in TV video, looks to be a sheet on the floor under it. I'll have to rewatch that, Traveling. That's a good point.
Well, the room was a mess to begin with, but there was a covering on the floor, so I think it was planned.
Okay.
So because absolutely no reaction to it.
Okay, Rachel B says it was a rug. Okay, so there was just something random, like everybody has a rug. Well, not everybody, but most people have a rug in their living room or something. Yeah, like I said, it was kind of like the photo of her with her stomped eye. I mean, at first I'm like, wow, that is pretty intense. But then it also goes back to, and I always go back to Jody and Travis. Travis was a dog. I'm not going to say Jorge was not an angel, but neither one of them deserved to end up the way they ended up. She made a lot of claims about him mistreating the dogs and saying he let him go and stuff. Yeah.
And I can't remember if any witnesses testified to the dogs, but
Yeah.
Because when she was testifying, she describes the dogs, and all that. One's blind and the other's deaf.
Right. Penny and something else. Penny, I forget the other dog's name right now. Right, Penny was one of them, I think. Or
Bunny, I think, or something.
Doesn't matter.
Because there was a lot of rabbit talk in there, so maybe one of them was named Bunny or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of rabbit things that were in the picture of the patio.
Now, Jules says jurors were taking a lot of notes. Did you you concur with that?
They were going like mad with the notes.
Yeah, throughout the whole morning, afternoon, or just certain
Yeah,
spots?
through the whole thing. They've been very diligent in taking notes ever since we started this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Denny Dawn says her dogs would not leave Jorge's side when he was found deceased. Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think, Jules, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were saying a dog will always come back, even if it's kicked around or whatever you want to say, not treated nicely.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on the dog.
Yeah,
it depends on the mistreatment. If because some dogs will come back and some will say, "The heck with you, I'm done."
Agreed. And then Jules and I were talking about that yesterday, I think, on our drive home, and then I'm like, I've had this opinion for a while. I think Jorge was kind of like that puppy. He was kicked around, but he always kept coming back because he had a good thing. Yeah. He had a good thing with her, So.
It's just this was just gasoline on the fire couple here. They were just going after each other.
Agreed.
And this is very typical of these domestications. It's just it's a give and take type thing.
Yep. Yeah. Totally agree. Okay, so then that takes us through. Let me see. We did the TV video, or the video of the TV. Pearl Walker was the neighbor. So after lunch, so she came in and she was hard of hearing. I don't necessarily think she was confused, as Jules said, but
it was a combination of both.
Yeah, she was definitely hard of hearing because she's like, what? She couldn't hear. She was sweet. I think everybody generally, there's no reason for her to make up anything. I don't think she was.
I think everybody liked her. She was a charming grandmother, and she just
absolutely, yeah. But how did they find her? I think somebody pulled up in the chat that she moved. Did you? I missed that. Did she had moved and they found her to become a witness? Did you catch that?
I'm not sure. They had to bring her from somewhere.
Okay.
And so they probably because they've got detectives working for them.
Right.
They've got two detectives. They got the man and the woman couple. She's elected as an assistant. Mm-hmm. And I found out today there was a third detective in the room. She's been sitting next to me all this time, and turns out she's a detective.
Oh. Okay.
So that was the bug lady.
Gotcha. So Rachel B says she lives in Jersey now, New Jersey.
So she's the one that had to fly in because she got in late.
Oh, yeah. She was coming in at 9, and then she's leaving at 9, I think. Right? That's what they said.
She was going to leave right away because they had a pre-trial conference and said, we need to get her out of here by 1:30.
Okay.
So they got her on and out of there quick.
Yeah. Okay. So she flew down.
She got held up by security, and it's probably because she was in the wheelchair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they had to put her through 4 or something because that's what the delay was. Is she got caught in security.
Right.
And she had someone. I think she had a daughter or somebody that was with her.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So after Miss Walker, the neighbors, then we had Dr. Harper, Julie Harper, who was supposed to be. Oh wait, Dwayne says she really didn't know Mrs. Boone that well. Miss Boone that well. Yeah. Is that was your impression, Dwayne? You don't think that they knew each other, or it was just like in passing? Like you see your neighbor, it's like, hey, how you doing? That kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, so Dr. Julie Harper, who we were all waiting for, this is the expert witness. She was supposed to testify with Bree Kuhn, who was the military mom who killed off her husband. Dr. Harper was supposed to testify in that case, which we all watched a couple weeks ago, but Bree changed her mind. She was supposed to testify, as we saw with the trial was very similar. First of all, the person who is accusing or is accusing of being abused is supposed to testify, and then they bring up the witness, the expert, very similar to Sarah. Well, Bree Kuhn at the very last second decided not to testify, so Dr. Harper was not brought up. So I was very interested to see, now we actually got to see Dr. Harper. So tell me what your impressions are with Dr. Harper.
This was a very long direct and cross. And I don't know, she really didn't impress me much because she kept going through this enormous book. She didn't recall a lot of things. And it was it was one of these things where I don't think either the prosecution or defense really got anything out of it, because she was just kind of wishy-washy. Mm-hmm. And she didn't come across well. I know the chat was going nuts with her. Yeah. They were saying, "Oh my God," and all this, and they were not happy with her either. Yeah. So it's just one of these things that they just rubbed everybody the wrong way.
Yeah. Do you think that Mr. J did better today in his cross than he did yesterday with Sarah?
Yeah, he improved quite a bit, because there was a couple times where he got. It's the one thing he did do with her is he got a lot out of her, and he did very well with the first, with the professor. Him and the professor clicked, mm-hmm. and he was just going through the whole thing, mm-hmm. and so I think the professor actually saved him. I think that went well for the prosecution, and I think the defense was probably thinking this is not a good idea to bring him in.
Yeah. Now, what do you think of his credentials compared to Dr. Harper? Like she had some serious credentials. What do you think?
Well, he was the Jedi Master. She was the Padawan. I mean, she has a lot to learn. Mm-hmm. I don't think she has the doctorate degrees. I think she has, a decent level, but I don't think she's a PhD. And he's a PhD. He actually teaches people like her. Okay. Or could, because he's got, and he really was sharp as a tack.
Okay. All right. So some people, Jules and Rachel, are saying that Dr. Harper did not have all the information. So that's why, do you think, Jules and Rachel, do you think that's why, and Murt, do you think that's why she seemed a little off?
Yeah, she was really, she had this enormous book, but she was still not prepared. She was rustling through the book and thinking and doing a lot of, trying to get her facts straight. So she was very poorly prepared. Okay. I think.
So it seems like she did have a doctorate. She was a doctor of psychology. So a few people, have popped in. So just so you know, but she did seem. She also has a PhD. So she did seem like she did seem a little off though. She wasn't as prepared as I thought.
Yeah, she didn't put a lot of effort in there. She was just, I was sitting there trying to figure her out, and it's just one of those things, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. And Dwayne, earlier you had something to respond to my casual neighbors. I just want to reply to you on that one, Dwayne. Yes, I did see that, and we all have that. We've all lived in those situations, whether you're in an apartment or complex or wherever it is, and you see people every day, and you're like, hey, how you doing? Now I want to get back to the TV, because to me that was pretty,
it's pretty intense.
But now I can understand why now again, it wasn't damning, it was just intense. So now I can understand why the neighbors heard all kinds of commotions, all hours of the day, because I don't know, smashing a 50-inch TV with a baseball bat is going to get your attention if you're living next door. Yeah.
Well, anywhere, because those apartments aren't very well insulated, so it carries.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And if that's on the ground floor, you're going to hear it.
Absolutely. All right, so that gets us through all the testimony. Chat, do you have any questions for Murt for the testimony? And then we'll get into some other things. But put your questions in right now, and we'll get to them. And Murt, if you just in the back burner, just think of any things you want to recap with just the testimony.
But a lot happened near the end of the trial when everybody's away. They had, first of all, they started out trying to figure out what they were going to do as far as the end of the defenses. There were some files that were coming in, digital files and stuff like that. And the judge was asking, what do you guys want to do? It's 4:30 and so on and so forth. And after all this back and forth, they decided, well, what we're going to do is we can come in tomorrow morning and do tomorrow morning. So the judge said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the jury in, and we're going to give them instructions to be back here in the morning, and then we'll have some, can do it tomorrow. So basically what they're going to do is defense is going to finish up in the morning. They said they're going to take a couple hours. Prosecution's going to do their rebuttal. They think they're going to do it in about a half hour. And then we might go into jury and we might go into the next phase after lunch is what it's looking like.
Okay.
And so it's looking like that maybe. Yeah. Because what they got to do, they got to get we got to get the closing arguments out of the way. Then we got to move into Brady, which is all these instructions they give to the jury about what they can, it's just the rules thing.
Right.
And that's the very last thing before the jury is kicked out of the room.
Right.
And so that's either going to be late tomorrow afternoon, depending on how late they want to run, or first thing Friday morning.
Okay. So everybody's kind of thinking that the jury will get the case or get to start to deliberate Friday at some point. Hopefully sooner than later, but Friday seems to be everybody.
Because it depends on how long the closing arguments go.
Yeah. No, I agree. Rachel B., I'm going to get to your question in a second. And Aaron, I know you asked me not to do this, so I won't. But somebody had
All right, I'm going to be right back. I got a picture or something.
Sure. Go ahead. Somebody asked a question about when was the bat incident? Was there a way that, because we're talking about it was out of context, like when was it? Let's see. Rachel B's question went away. We'll get back to that in a second. Aaron, if you want to pull up any questions, feel free to. Share Bear. Hi, Julie. The smashing of the TV looked orchestrated and filmed. He turned the TV towards the camera. Yeah, and what struck me the most in chat, let me know your thoughts as well. And when Murt comes back, I'll ask him. But there was no reaction from Sarah. Like if my quote unquote, partner, loved one, whatever, is doing that and they're drunk and whatever, is that a spur of the moment filming, or is that, I know they've done this before and I'm going to catch them? So again, it's like this Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing. Was she setting him up? Did she goad him, to do that? If somebody's doing that spur of the moment, you just, you're like, oh crap, I got to grab this and film this because this is just off the hook. You're going to be like, I don't know. Are you going to be calm, or are you going to be like, honey, stop doing that? Or are you going to be like, every time? I don't know. It was just really weird. All
right, I'm back.
Okay. All right. Just going through a question here. Lori Wall says, I totally believe that video of JT and the bat was a setup. Yep. He wasn't threatening SB, just that she has to help him. SB is devious and crazy like a fox. Yeah. Just your opinion. Yeah.
That was just, they're trying to play her the victim.
Yeah.
And so that was bogus. I think the jury's going to see through that.
Yeah. All right, Aaron, you want to pull up a couple more? Thank you. Vicky Vakina. I'm wondering if it was a broken TV. Yep. And Sarah told him to beat it up so she can.
Probably was.
That's what we're all thinking.
It wasn't on, number one. It would be more effective if the TV was on and, like there's a TV program on there, right, and all of a sudden you walloped it back. I think it was broken.
It was off. It was black. And then there was also a few holes to begin with, right? Like, weren't there already?
Well, there were two videos. There was a short video, and it looked like he threw a baseball at it.
Okay, I missed that then. Yeah,
and then they stopped that video and played the longer one where he just beat the daylights out of the TV.
That one I saw.
Yeah.
It would have been more impactful if it was playing how old was Lucas? He was 9 years old. If it was playing some cartoon or something, and then Jorge's, then that would have been wow, what's going on?
Yeah, but as far as I could see, he was the only one in the shot to begin with.
Yeah.
And it was an Instagram, so.
Yeah. JMD says, I noticed that too. He lost 17 pounds since his last arrest. I wonder, since he lost his job, if Sarah withheld food. Yeah, she was really strange talking about his weight on the interrogation. Well, she seemed to control a lot. She seemed to control every aspect of his life. So why not food as well? I don't know. So,
yeah, she controlled everything. And he was just one of these guys that can't go away.
Yeah.
And that just used that to her advantage. Very manipulative.
Agreed. All right, Lori Wall says, my abuser would never have let me video him doing anything like that, especially in his reign of terror. He'd whack me more. Yeah, it just seemed something was off about that video. Yeah, I agree with that. If somebody is truly in a rage and they're drinking and they're off, they're not thinking right, and all of a sudden you start videotaping them, they're going to be like, what the hell are you doing? And then they're going to come after you, perhaps, or they're going to pass out on the couch, which apparently he did. I don't know. Seems a little sus to me, but
yeah, there's the whole thing about that suitcase video was just bizarre.
Agreed. Yeah, yet one more little piece of this puzzle that just it's not quite fitting. Just not quite fitting. She's trying to tell us a story, and it's just not. And she's very. That's a good point about puzzles. She's she was all about puzzles. There's something just not connecting there. Yeah. Denny Dawn says we can see by her letters and such she's a control freak. Yep. And she tried to control him. He had no right to hit her. Period. But she instigated it. Yeah. Oh, there's no question. Yeah. Jules, he was drunk. They showed the picture of him passed out on the couch with a bat in his hand. Yes, I agree. I agree with that, Jules. And then getting back to that other comment about, when if somebody is coming after you, do you want to be filming them or do you want them to be calm? Right? Wasn't that the whole thing? She was always trying to keep him calm and do all these things, And here he is being very violent, very aggressive. She's filming him. Does she think that he's just going to go pass out, which he ended up doing, or does she think he's going to come after her? I mean, there's just too many questions.
If he had a pattern of violence, there'd be more than one video of a TV set.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot more. Because in the years that they knew each other, we get a baseball bat with a TV and a couple bruises and the cut on the leg, which, this is typical, but would he go flying around chasing her with a baseball bat and that be the end of the things? Possible.
Yeah.
But no matter what, there is absolutely no excuse to stuff somebody in the suitcase and leave them there to die. Yeah. You call 911 and you get a restraining order, get them out of the house, which that subject came up. You get a restraining order, get them out of the house, permanent, no contact order, the whole 9 yards. And, that'd be the end of it. If he comes back, he arrests us and put him in jail.
Yeah, agreed.
That didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, Jules, they were definitely toxic. We've talked about that, and we will continue to talk about that for sure. Rachel B., she may have been sitting super still and not intervening because she didn't want him to focus on her with a bat in his hand.
That's true. That's a possibility.
Could be.
But I don't, I just think it was out of context. There was nobody that witnessed it other than her that came forward.
Yeah.
And so he, and if the kid was there, all he did is he just went to town on that TV with a baseball bat.
Was Lucas there? Was he? I missed that. Was he supposed to be there? Or was he there?
I don't know if he was or not. I heard somebody mention it, but I don't know if he was there.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one in there in the picture. And
Jorge's, yeah. Chat, did you catch that? I didn't think that Lucas was there, but let me chat if you thought Lucas was there or not. If so, I totally missed that. OnlyFan, one of our great mods. Thank you. Good morning to you, my friend. Glad you're here with us. Jules says no, he was not there. Okay, thank you, Jules. All right, Aaron, you want to bring up a few more? We've got some starred questions or comments. If you want to pull up one. Pick a comment, any comment. Thank you. Sean Turney, where's Jorge's injury pictures from over the years? So where are his injury pictures?
There are none.
Yeah, there are none. Or if they are, they're not being presented to us.
Yeah, the only injury pictures we have of Jorge is after they got his autopsy photos. Yeah. And they were gruesome, believe me.
Yeah.
And another...
Wait, why don't you tell us about those? Because there might be some people in the chat that missed that the other day.
They did it, and they had a picture of his face. He had at least 2 broken teeth, and he looked like he was on the losing end of a bar fight. I mean, his face was mangled. Yeah. And they did the left arm, right arm, with him on his back, and then with him, the technician had turned him over, and you could see all kinds of bruises. And on one side of him, he had these, they're like circle wounds, and it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right in a row.
Yeah.
And that was the baseball bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or she had poked the suitcase. So that means that he was in the suitcase on his side.
Yeah.
And how he ever managed to get his fingers out of that suitcase was a miracle, because he was in the fetal position in the suitcase. And so he just happened to be in a place where he could poke his hand through the suitcase. Yeah. And then she didn't want him out, so she whacked his hand with a baseball bat to put it back in. And there was bruising on his hands. He had bruising all over. There was no place on his body that there wasn't a bruise. Yeah. His back was, very discolored, and he had 3 long scratches on his back, which was probably done by the rollers on the suitcase.
Which he claims.
And then he had one going across, one that was horizontal, horizontal going across the back of his neck. Yeah. And if she hadn't told us what it was, we would have thought it was somebody had taken a knife and gone and sliced him.
Wow.
But she said it was a scratch of some kind, which there's any number of ways that could have happened.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I have a rolling suitcase, and I pulled it out the other day, and I still don't know how he got in. I mean, he's a small dude, but I still am amazed at how he was able to get into that.
But I think she shoved him in there, and just like you're overpacked for an airplane flight, she must have really ranked on him to get him in there.
I agree. All right, Leah the Empty Nester says, I just think it's weird that someone who is supposedly terrified that Jorge has a bat in his hand would sit and film it. He seemed aware that she was filming. And doesn't he say something like, I'm in a car, and Scott, R.A., thank you. You are amazing for allowing this, the equipment, and we're having so much fun, and it's all good. So thank you very much. And when it works, it works. When it works, it works. It's so exciting.
In the suitcase video, she starts off, he starts off saying, Sarah, I can't breathe. And then she laughs and she talks to him. And he keeps saying it over and over again. So I think he knows she's there. Yeah. But he's too busy. He wants her to understand. He said, I'm suffocating in here. I can't breathe. Let me out of here. Yeah. Or claustrophobic. And she just kept repeating, the F-bombs were coming out, and she laughed at him, and, for 2.5 minutes of that video. And then, the next thing you hear is that 14 hours later, she's pulled him out of the suitcase. He wouldn't. She said he's dead and all this stuff, and a really strange phone call with the 911 operator, and that,
And she laid him out. She picked him up.
She laid him out. He was on his back, because it does, court TV did not show the gruesome pictures. We saw them in court. Yeah. And believe you me, if you guys had seen those pictures, you would understand why I think she is going to be found guilty. I will be very surprised, because they were unbelievably bad pictures. I mean, he was beaten to a pulp.
All right, that's a great point, but let me counter that with the picture of her and her bruised cheek in her eye. Does that, if you will, cancel it out at all? Like if you're somebody that you don't think it doesn't? Okay.
Doesn't me. Jury, we got half women, half men. They may have their own insight into it. Yeah. I mean, she had the worst picture was, two. The first was her with that shiner, and the second was her with the sutures in the leg. Yeah. Those are bad. But if you were to take and compare the two together, he got the worst of it. He looked like a motorcycle game beat the pulp out of him. Yeah. Because he was bruised. Every inch of his body was bruised.
And I don't buy the whole thing with the bed. He made steak. She made steak. She brought it up to bed. So it's supper in bed. And then he wants to do it with her on top of the steak. And then, I mean, that whole thing just seemed like, way over the top. And I tell me if you guys feel the same way. Like I'm just kind of getting a whole Amber Heard vibe from her, where things may have happened, but the way she's describing it to me is just like I don't know. I'm just not seeing that he just wants to all of a sudden, like, do it with her on top of the steaks and a steak knife, and then he stabs her. I mean, that just seems.
Well, the steak knife thing was an old incident. That didn't happen that recent.
No, I know, but the story she told, just like what Amber Heard told, just is like, come on, man. I mean, that just seems like so impossible. I don't know. I'm just not getting that. But anyway, that's my.
Yeah, well, it's hard to believe anything she says, because some of the stuff that was redacted that wasn't brought into court, the detectives were saying she's lying. And they actually, in the interrogation, I don't think that made it into court, because they did edit the interrogation that they played in court. The detective said, "You're lying. We know you're lying."
Yeah.
And all that. And because the female detective blew her stack. And, so that.
Blew her stack when? In the interrogation? Or?
Well, she lost it. Yeah, the detective blew her. She blew up. And that part was edited out in court.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she basically started shouting at her and stuff, and then they left the room. When she came back, she was calmed down. I think her partner took her out of the room to get her to calm down.
Yeah.
And that was right around the time that the battery went dead in her laptop.
Right. Hey, Aaron. Sorry, Aaron. There's a couple comments from Sneaky and Wendy 806. I want to pull those up because we were just talking about the bed incident. So if you could pull one of those up. Sneaky side, hey, great to see you. Thank you for being with us as always. The steak was holier than thou. I made steak because I'm amazing and he did awful things to me. I don't think it ever happened. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this whole concept. He's in bed. It's dinner time. She makes steak. She comes up and he's like, "No, I'm pissed off at you. So I basically want to like do it against your will." And then she tries to get away. So he stabs her. I mean, I don't know, man. That just seems like such a stretch to me. But
yeah, I don't think
that just seems like such a stretch.
Yeah, number one, if somebody makes me a steak, I'm going to eat it.
No matter how drunk you are.
Yeah, I'll eat the damn thing.
All right. Thank you, Sneaky, for that. Hold on, Murt. And Aaron, if you could pull up that other one from Wendy. Yes, Squeegee. Wendy Williams, thank you. Okay. Squeegee, he stabbed her.
I want to get something in before I forget it.
Sure, go ahead.
I talked to the attorney about the birthday card.
Yes.
And
the infamous birthday card.
He wouldn't accept it, and he said, "What you can do is send it to the Orange County Jail."
Okay.
And you can get one in there. And either I can do it for you, or you can go into the website at the John Young Parkway Jail and see what the rules are about sending mail.
Okay.
And
fair enough.
And, that way you can send your birthday card to her.
All right, fair enough. Thanks for being on the case there. We appreciate it. Okay, Wendy Williams, Squeegee. He stabbed her, yes, but I refuse to believe he just stabbed her leg because she was getting off the bed. No, that's extreme. She was running that mouth and who knows what else. Yeah, I mean, we all know. I mean, it's a toxic relationship, and they were fussing and fighting. And things happen. I'm not saying that they didn't happen, but the way they happened to me just seemed like so. And they are totally just victim blaming. I forget, maybe Leah, you said that earlier, where it's just, they're just running him through the mud, and that happens. We've seen that before, and it's going to happen again.
Victim blaming is common.
Yeah.
These things.
Unfortunately, it is. Yeah, because you got to make that person look like a monster, and you're the angel. I get it.
But here is the thing I got out of that. Mm-hmm. The guy stabs her with a knife, and this was quite a while back, and he's still there. I would have gotten him the hell out of the house and got a restraining order and said, "Don't you ever come back here. I'll have you arrested. Be done with him."
I know.
None of that happened.
I know. Well, there's a lot of people that have been talking about that, and it's harder. It's easier said than done. I agree. I mean, some people would do it, some people wouldn't for whatever reasons. Financially, you might not be able to look at this.
They brought up Stockholm and all that. I mean, maybe it's just an you're outside the situation. You really don't know the dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps it wasn't that easy for her to end the situation. But you know, yeah, he may have a temper and stuff, and he gets a little rowdy when he's drunk. But I don't think he's the Brutus that would overpower her. She fights like a wildcat, and she's going to overtake him, I think.
Brian says she has claws. We heard that. And
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joan Parkin says, I don't think Jorge cut her leg. Yeah, I don't think so either. All right. And Wendy, you said, about a child. A lot of people were saying that yesterday, I think. Protect your child. Why would you want this person who is such a beast, such a monster around your child? And yet I think there's proof of Jorge like playing with Lucas and showing them how to ride a bike or something like that.
Yeah, Lucas was like a substitute father or big brother. They actually got along.
And vice versa. Jorge wasn't with his kids, so here's this little.
And there was no history of child abuse.
No.
So.
I know.
Because in most domestics, I know there's someone in the room in the chat anyway down today that is a spousal abuse victim, and so she could give her insight into this. But usually most males in this kind of a relationship are going to abuse the child as well as the mother, because it's just he's going to go after anyone that's around him.
Okay.
So, especially if he's drunk, because he loses all judgment and self-control.
True.
So, I think, yes, he's no perfect person, but she is on the scale going the heavy here. Because I just think they were two people that never should have been together, but she's the most toxic.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Aaron, you want to pull up some more comments for us, questions? Thank you. Denny Dawn, she could have fallen down the stairs and gotten the black eye. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday in the chat, and anything could have happened. I mean, it was pretty intense. Some people were saying mascara. Some people.
Well, I was looking at that, and I think he did hit her. That's a classic Shiner. Okay. That one I'll point to Jorge on, or somebody else anyway.
Okay.
Because if she had rolled and fallen down the bottom of the stairs, there's a shelving unit with a gate in front of it.
Yeah.
And that would have absorbed the impact, and I don't see her getting what we would call a doorknob Shiner.
Right.
Because that's the old excuse of the abused person, is that they ran straight into a doorknob.
Straight into the door,
or else the end of the baseball bat or something. But no, if that was, he gave her a good whop on that one.
Aaron, if you could, I'll get to Alice, but also I want to address Sneaky's question. But Alice, we'll get to you first. I really want the state to hear Jorge saying, "Help me, Sarah," in the video. I'm not sure they did initially. Now we think, now that the evidence has been introduced, the video has been introduced. Now in closing, we're thinking, and Murt, you can jump in on this in a second. In closing, whoever does closing, if it's Mr. J or not, that should be the last thing that they play, is that video of Jorge saying, Sarah, I can't breathe, and then say, "Now, jury, it's up to you to bring justice."
I would do it. I guarantee you that. There are some videos coming in, new videos that we haven't seen.
Okay, so rebuttal. Yeah, don't forget, Chad, we've got rebuttal coming up, and we want Brian, but we'll get to that in a second, Mert. Sneaky side, the steak was a holier than thou. No. Okay, no, there was another one, Aaron. I'm sorry, it was the making whoopee. They don't have 2 pennies to rub together, or 2 nickels. Sarah, again, her analogies and her adjectives and her, she's just amazing. Even though we didn't have 2 pennies or 2 nickels to rub together, I'm just like, dude. Shout out to steak lovers. Yep. It was one about making whoopee. that's what caught. We didn't have a nickel. We didn't have 2 nickels to rub together.
Well, there is the mattress mambo, so.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Sneaky. We'll catch you. We'll pick that one at some point. Or if Aaron can grab it, great. If not, that's cool. Aaron, just throw up anything at this point. That's cool. Not today, says she called Brian before she passed out, but had no idea what to say to him. She didn't want to call the cops because she just assaulted George. She called Brian because she had passed out and had no idea what to say to him. Yeah, she didn't want to call the cops because she had just assaulted. So not today. You're saying that was like at midnight or 1 o'clock, right? So because this happened at 11:15 or 11:11. Mert, do you remember the time that those videos were taken?
The videos were taken at 11, somewhere around 11:45.
It was 11:45, yeah, and there was 11 minutes in between, yeah. So okay, so yeah, she didn't want to call the cops then, not today, because yeah, if you believe that she just assaulted him, of course you're not going to want to call the police, of course not, yeah. All right, Aaron, if you want to pull up another one when you're ready, we'll field it. Okay, sorry. Take your time and pull them up. Ada K, hey Ada K, good to see you in the chat. I did interesting that nobody has spoke about the syringe in the diazepam that was inside the suitcase. It was his prescription, but did she use it on him? Question. Yeah. So Mert, that
never came up.
Yeah, he had nicotine, caffeine, and ethanol in his system. So nothing else.
Nothing else.
And you said something fell out of the suitcase. Was that you, or was that you?
Yeah, what they did is, when she was testifying, they had the suitcase because they wanted her to demonstrate zipping it up. Mm-hmm. And instead of taking it out the way they normally do, where they lift it out of the box, the prosecution tipped the box upside down, and the suitcase came flying out, and something came out with it. They think it was paperwork that they...
Okay. It certainly wouldn't be a syringe at this point.
No, I never did find out what it was, but they think it was a piece. I think it was an evidence sheet that fell out of the suitcase.
Yeah.
It just amazed me that they turned the thing over.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think they wanted to make it easier to get it out of the box, because you have to lift it real high in order to clear this tall box. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, why don't we just turn it upside down? We'll pull it out that way. And when they turned it upside down, out comes this whatever it was, and everybody stood up. What the heck is that?
Yeah. He only had ethanol, which of course is alcohol, wine, whatever. Caffeine, which of course is caffeine, and nicotine, which was cigarettes. So yeah, he had nothing nefarious in his system. We all have that at one point in our system. Denny Dawn, and why go up to bed where it would be harder for her to get out of the house on the second floor? Yeah. Absolutely, Denny Dawn. That's a very good point. I agree with you 100%.
I would have passed out on the couch if I was that drunk.
Because
going upstairs, if you're knocked down drunk, you're going to risk falling down the stairs again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, she'll get herself trapped. But he's in a suitcase, Denny Dawn. So then she feels secure enough that he's in the suitcase. I don't know.
If she's that drunk, she wasn't thinking straight to begin with.
That is true.
I mean, the whole thing is a seriously bad judgment.
I agree. Wendy Williams, I believe we saw this, but we'll check it out again. Squeegee, he stabbed her, yes, but I refuse to believe he just stabbed her leg because she was getting off the bed. No, that's extreme. She was running that mouth and who knows what else. Yeah, this goes back to them making whoopee. I have two. We don't have two nickels to rub together, but I'm gonna not eat the steak that you made me. I mean, who does that anyway? Dwayne Harris, my theory: putting Jorge in the suitcase was his regular punishment. This time she went too far. Interesting, Dwayne. So you're thinking a little.
Never heard that one.
A little S&M kind of thing, or am I going off?
I don't know. I think the story was they were going to get rid of that suitcase.
Yeah.
Because it was a piece of junk. The handles the zipper handles were missing. They had a piece of wire in it to open the one zipper.
Right. And then that irritates me to no end. It's like, here, poor people, Goodwill, you take my junk. I don't want to throw it away, so you take my junk.
Goodwill would throw it away. They wouldn't even put it out.
I know, exactly. So that kind of irritated me, where she's like, well, we wanted to give it to Goodwill. It's like...
they got a dumpster. Throw in there.
Yeah, it's trash. Why give it to somebody else?
That was not a Samsonite suitcase. I think it was like a Walmart off-brand.
Yeah.
because it was a cloth-covered plastic suitcase. It wasn't a rigid wall in that respect.
Right.
And because the top is very flexible,
yeah.
That's why the suitcase moved, because he was trying to shift around, and you could very subtle movements on the suitcase. And he was struggling.
Yeah.
And then somehow there was a break in the video, and all of a sudden the suitcase is on its back.
Yeah.
And that's probably when he got scratched up on the handle that's buried in the suitcase, and and so on.
Yeah. Orphan Annie says, unfortunately, a lot of people believe if you can still talk then you can still breathe. It's not true. I think.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got into that
if you can still talk,
because the
breathe.
carbon monoxide buildup. It was a confined space, so you weren't able to recycle the air. And he was basically, if he's in a fetal position, he is probably, his nose is right up against the suitcase.
Yeah.
And it's just, you're basically going to breathe in your own carbon dioxide and die.
Terrible. Absolutely. I mean,
because it was asphyxiation.
There are ways to go, and then there are ways to go. This is just absolutely horrific to think about.
Yeah, that's what that's what the coroner says. It's he suffered.
Yeah, because you knew it. He knew his life was going to end. I mean, it's like a slow train coming, and you can't get out of the way. It's one thing to get shot or whatever, or fall off a cliff or get in a car accident.
Because at the end of the video, you could hear him where he's going, and all of a sudden he just goes, Sarah, Sarah, Sarah. Yeah, his octaves kept going down. So probably when she went upstairs, he probably passed out and then died overnight.
And then that was it. Yeah.
So
Denny Dawn, she flipped it over. She flipped it over on the lid part. How was he supposed to get out that way? So that just doesn't make sense. That she was afraid.
Yeah, he wouldn't have gotten out either way, because the way these suitcases work, when it was on the bottom, where the top was on the floor, that's the part that opens up on the suitcase. It's the thinnest part. And so he's not going to be able to push that whole heavy suitcase off of him, even if he was able to get the zipper, which, since the zipper was broken, he couldn't get it any farther. And he was, that's what he was trying to do with his hand. He was trying to pull it out to see if he could get enough out to push against that thing to get it open.
Yeah.
And that's when she said, you're not coming out of the suitcase, and whacked him with it. So get back in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she flipped it over on its back so it quit wiggling around, and that threw his orientation off. And, and by that time, he was just to the point where he was too weak to do anything, and he just passed out and then died sometime during the night.
Yeah. Lego my suitcase. Nice handle. Did you make that specifically for this case? No, there's no way him being put in the suitcase was a regular thing. Who would willingly let it happen the second time? Okay. Yeah. Well, if you're drinking and it's a game, I guess, maybe, I don't know. Or if like Dwayne was, if I read Dwayne's comment right, it was maybe some kind of sex game, something.
That story makes absolutely no sense.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, it's supposed to be hide and seek.
Yeah.
And when you play hide and seek, you're supposed to be hiding from the seeker. The seeker doesn't put you in where you're hiding and then come back later and find them.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. No, I don't know where she came up with that.
Absolutely absurd. I agree. Very absurd. Yeah.
And the jury is going to, somebody on the jury is going to say hide and seek.
Yeah.
I mean, she put him in the dark. She was there when he was in the suitcase. She's videotaping, laughing at him, doesn't let him out of the suitcase, and goes away. And then the next day she comes back. I mean, come on.
It's absurd. I agree. Rachel B says, I still think she planned this. So you're hanging tough with that. The text having him call his kids and family, I think that was a one last call situation. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say yay or nay to that. I mean, I think it definitely, it's, if I have to land on one side or the other, Rachel, I would say I don't necessarily think she woke up that day, but you're thinking that she did plan it. Is that you're thinking that it was that much of a
well,
plan?
If she had planned it, it would have been the day before.
Yeah.
And the way they described it, it was in a closet, and they would have had to dig that thing out of the closet.
Yeah.
Because they had gone up to see his family and used that suitcase and had trouble with it. And the story is they decided when it comes back, this was where the Goodwill thing came in.
Yeah.
That they were going to throw it out. It was just too much of a problem. Go down to Walmart and buy another one. And they had thrown it in the closet as junk storage. And then all of a sudden they pulled it out.
Yeah.
She pulled it out. Somebody pulled it out. And it got downstairs and it got opened up.
Yeah.
And she didn't even bother. There was stuff in it. And she didn't bother to empty the suitcase. She just went in and out all that stuff.
Yeah. All right, Rachel B., you got some good points there, but I'm going to get to Wendy Williams here. Oh, gosh, I just thought about this. What if he was unalived before she went upstairs? He stopped answering, and she had to sober up and perfectly construct this story. A stretch, I know.
Possible.
Yeah, maybe not a stretch. That's.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
But the jury has to break down this story.
Yeah.
And they may do the same thing. They may think in their head about it, but they're basically supposed to look at what was presented.
Yeah.
Not get into guessing or anything. They've got to look at what was presented and give it whatever weight they put to it or not. They'll get into, you give it a little bit of weight, a lot of weight, or no weight at all. This is going to be part of the instruction as to how you give weight to the evidence and to the testimony.
Right. Rachel B., why would she say hide and seek I shall? Now, that was in the text from January, I think, or December or January. Yeah. Rachel B., I think it was planned a month ago when she talked about hide and seek in her text. So hide and seek I shall. Yeah. So that's where I can get with that.
But I think because I'm a late comer to this case, but I think she has changed her story so many times over the years that she just, for whatever reason, she came up with this cockamamie story.
Yeah, Rachel. I mean, you're coming at it in a very interesting perspective, And Rachel B., how would the brother know what she was talking about at all unless they talked about it previously? Yeah. No, those are all really, really great points. And these are things that became that came to us throughout testimony. Like, I had no idea about these texts. Did you, Murt? Did you know about these texts before?
No.
Yeah. This is all.
Yeah, they came out of that came out during the testimony where he put up the call log from the phone and all these text messages are on there, and then they were read out. Yeah.
So Sneaky Side says, though the dogs were blind and deaf, they could still smell. Yes, of course. That's their most powerful sense. I can't imagine they would leave Jorge downstairs alone in the suitcase unless Sarah made them come upstairs and close them in the bedroom. I can't imagine they would leave him. And they were found. One of them had his little head on Jorge's shoulder or something. So that they wouldn't leave him downstairs alone in the suitcase. But if he was abusive to them, then good point there. Denny Dawn, only Sarah and George knows what happened, and one is gone, one is not. Yep, one had bruises all over, and the other did not. And she did not do CPR, or she would have had stuff on her. Yeah, I agree, Denny Dawn. He was
I have a problem with that too, because normally when the 911 operator has you give aid to someone, CPR and so forth, you put the phone on CPR and you put the phone on speaker and set it down. And when you're on speakerphone, you're going to hear the fact that you're off in the distance. And if you're doing chest compressions and counting 1, 2, 3, 4, on up to how many ever the medic had her keep counting, and she would be out of breath. Yeah, she would be going because chest compressions, if you do it right, is hard work. Right. I've been on scenes of accidents and stuff where even the medics are doing CPR, and they'll do the chest compressions for a little while, and then they'll go like, okay, get ready to take over, and one will stop, get out of the way, and the other will take over, and it gives the technician time to rest up.
Right.
And so, and you know.
Plus, she said that she was doing CPR from the get-go. She didn't. That was beside the 911 call on the stand.
That's what she said.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. And then she gets on the phone, and she's doing. I mean, yeah, just again, sus. Lego my suitcase, tons. Agree with the caller, who I'm thinking is you, Murt. She agrees with you, or he agrees with you. Sorry, Lego, not sure of your gender. She has changed her testimony on the stand by saying she purposely videotaped him. When it was established, she wasn't even aware she did. Yeah, I agree, Lego. She's flip-flopped all over the place,
Yeah. Well, this is how this whole phone thing came up, because she voluntarily gave the phone to the digital forensics and the password and everything, and off went the phone. Yeah. And then when they called her back the next day, they had gotten into the phone and found the video. And that's when the decision was made to arrest her, because it was they heard that and they said, this is it. We're going to arrest this.
Yeah, you have to at that point. All right,
and that's why they were trying to say they tricked her and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, sneaky side. I don't think Jorge was abusive to Lucas or dogs. Neighbors mentioned he would play outside with Lucas often. Agreed. The dog seemed to love him.
He wasn't abusive. He wasn't abusive to the dogs or the kid. It was strictly him and Sarah that were having this, fisticuffs thing.
Agreed.
It was the two of them. They never should have met each other.
Agreed.
So
Sneaky says, seems fishy, and glad you liked my whoopee comment. Yes. Whoopee. Definitely. Thank you, Sneaky.
Megan Whoopee.
Yeah. Wendy Williams, right. She said she would put up baby gate to keep dogs from going upstairs at night. Didn't she? I think so. I kind of remember that. But let them sleep in bed that night. I'd love to know if she did that any other time. Yeah. I'm not sure.
It's unknown.
Yeah.
Fly on a wall. Time.
Dwayne Harris, squeegee, Jorge's gurgles startled her badly. Yes. I mean, she couldn't even deal with that. She's like, ugh. Can you imagine?
She screams. And it was like, I jumped, because the first time I heard the video, she's sitting there going along, and all of a sudden she just let out with a scream, and I'm going, whoa.
Right.
It made me jump, because I was wearing my headset, and I had the thing, up to my ear and everything, and wow.
So, Dwayne says, that proves that she didn't give him CPR earlier, like she lied and said. Yeah, I agree, Dwayne. There's no way and I hope there's somebody on the jury that has some common sense and or experience with CPR to say there's no way she was doing CPR from the moment she found him to the moment then she calls Brian. Then she does. I mean, what is she doing? She's calling Brian 3 times. She's doing CPR. Then she calls 911 and says she's doing CPR. I mean, no. I hope somebody on the jury is saying no. That's just not the way it works.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the points that they're going to deliberate on is, this whole business from when she called the 911 operator and said, my boyfriend's dead. And, because she had told, he started off saying the guy's dead, why should I be giving him CPR if he's dead? But she said, and it was just a confusing thing to listen to her and 911 operator and then the EMT, because it was just, and she was very calm, just like, the guy died, too bad. I have heard people in 911 calls, and they're just all over the place, and they're trying to calm the person up. They're saying, calm down, But she was, it was just like, routine for her to see a dead guy laying next to a suitcase.
Yeah.
So
Haley now says, OMG, the bash on the stairs makes sense if there was a gate. Would have stopped the shelves being damaged too. So the dog gate, baby gate was on the bottom of the stairs, not the top of the stairs. Yeah,
it was on the bottom of the stairs. It's a dog gate, and it was leaning up against this kind of bookcase thing. It was a triangular shaped bookcase, and the gate would have absorbed any impact, so there wouldn't be any black eye because it's a flat gate. Mm-hmm. She would have had to hit something protruding. Mm-hmm. And the stairs are carpeted. Mm-hmm. They're not hard wooden stairs. They're carpeted, so they're going to absorb any impact. I mean, you're still going to get hurt, but, it's not going to be like you go down a set of wooden stairs with no padding. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. Lori Wallace says, all the stories are from Sarah says, all the stories are from what Sarah says, only one side of the story. Yep. I wish someone would be able to give JT's side. Yeah. Well, that's the sad thing about these cases, Lori, is that, there's always two sides to the story and we're only hearing one. We're never going to hear Jorge's side. And unfortunately, we're going to hear what a monster he was and how terrible he was. And we're never.
Well, this whole thing reminds me of the burning bed, the woman that set the guy on fire because he was, a monster. Yeah. So, that's a classic thing. But, the video did her in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was stupid enough to make the video. If she had not made the video and told, she said, well, the guy was, she might have had a better chance of getting out of this. Mm-hmm. But the video is literally the smoking gun. There's no way around it. Yeah. I don't care how good the defense does. That's going to stick in my mind, especially if they play it during closing.
They have to. And to me, I would end it. I think that would be the most powerful mic drop.
That would be the very last thing I would do is play that video.
Yep. And then
just let
it hang. Just let it hang out there.
Let it hang there. Just don't say a word. Just say, we're done.
Yep.
And
mic drop.
That's it.
Walk away. Yep. I agree. Ada K says, and most of the time when someone does CPR on somebody who's deceased or alive, the ribs can do fracture. Yes. And there's nothing in the autopsy that showed any evidence of CPR. That is true, Ada. Yeah. And I believe we were talking about that the other day, that ribs would be cracked. There's just no way she was doing CPR. Well, again, I hope somebody on the jury can bring that into them. I hope so,
Yeah, because I don't remember the occupations of all these people. Yeah. But it's just the whole thing makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
There is nothing in this trial since that video first came out that convinces me of anything other than this was, she wanted him dead.
Yeah. So Sneaky Side says, I think common sense will reign supreme with the jury. We certainly hope so.
Yeah,
certainly hope so.
Because these are intelligent people. It's all walks of life, college educated, and I think there may be one or two people that are high school, but it's all college educated, sophisticated, intelligent people. Good. And I think they are not going to be fooled by the defense.
Like us in our chat, right? We're sophisticated.
Yeah, we're all intelligent people, and we can see.
Right through her.
How weak the defense case is. I mean, you guys in the chat are in a panic because you think she's going to come out of this. If it does, I will be shocked because I cannot see an out for her.
Yeah.
It's just, the video alone is going to crucify her.
I agree. We're going to take a few more questions because we do have to get up early tomorrow. So we'll take
all of us.
A few more questions. Rachel B. She said she didn't want Brian bringing the child over to the house, which is why she called him. The child was in school. Yeah, I pray that they bring Brian back for rebuttal. What do you think, Murt? Do you think he'll come back?
They are not going to call Brian. I've been told that twice.
That just pains me to no end. Because he would refute. He would truly rebut what she was saying.
Yeah, he'd be a good rebuttal witness, but they...
that kills me.
For whatever reason, they said, no, he's not coming back.
That just... If she gets off, it's going to hang on that, I think. That, to me, was going to be the pivoting point.
Yeah, but I cannot see her getting off. If she, at the very least, it'd be a hung jury. But I don't see an acquittal.
Yeah.
There is no way. But then again, this is the very same courtroom that Casey Anthony was acquitted in.
Don't say that. I mean, I know you.
I was there.
Yeah. Oof. Lego my
and so are
suitcase.
100,000 other people.
Yeah. Lego my suitcase. I am seriously hoping the rebuttal is more informative than their case in chief. We need evidence of his injuries. Do you have any idea, Mert, of who they are calling in rebuttal? Any clue there?
No, I think it's one of the deputies, because they have to introduce this new CD that we haven't seen.
Oh, that's right. You said there's
so someone is going to call. They have to call the digital forensics specs so that they can play those CDs. I think it's a couple more deputies that were at the scene or something, but they were going back and forth about so many things that got lost in the shuffle.
Gotcha.
Because they got into this, they wanted to bring this protection order in, and they kept changing their mind. The judge ruled at one point, no, we're not going to bring it in. Mm-hmm. And then right at the very end, the prosecution says, we withdraw our objection. Mm-hmm. So the judge says, okay, it comes in.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And the room blew up because everybody said, why is he letting that in?
Yeah.
Because it's hearsay evidence. He cited all this case law. And then he just said, and the prosecution said, let it in. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. They must have something up their sleeve to bring that in.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We'll take one more comment, and then Mert, I'll let you walk us out for the evening. Aaron, if you want to pull up one more, and we'll answer. Let's see. Leah, the empty nester. There's no doubt they beat each other up, but Jorge didn't deserve to die a horrific death. Agreed. Sarah was not in imminent danger that night. 100% agree with you. 100% agree.
No, I'm going to repeat what I've always said. There is absolutely no self-defense by stuffing somebody in a suitcase. It just, no way. That's an argument.
Yeah. Yeah. She wasn't in imminent danger. Not self-defense. Again, if he was coming at her, if something, if she had any kind of scratch, all of her bruises and scratches were from previous, whatever you want to call it, but nothing that night. So, Mert, I'll let you get the last word in before we say goodnight. Do you have any final thoughts?
Okay. Well, a couple. First of all, she could have gotten away with self-defense if she had hit him with the baseball bat out of the suitcase. Mm-hmm. He could say, she could say, well, he was coming at me. I picked up the baseball bat because it was the closest thing there, and I just swung in out of panic and accidentally killed him. It wasn't intentional. Mm-hmm. I was defending myself, and, I didn't have a gun. I had the bat, and I used it. That would have been a plausible defense.
Yeah.
Stood a much better chance. But I think tomorrow, if everything goes the way they were talking in court, we're talking 2.5 hours of finishing up with the defense, half-hour rebuttal with the prosecution. Mm-hmm. We go to lunch, come back from lunch, and start going down the road of ending this. Now, whether it's going to be the instruct, it's probably going to be the beginning of closing arguments. Mm-hmm. And then after closing arguments, depending on what time it is when the judge is going to determine the reading of the Brady's. Mm-hmm. Now, that may be done the next day. But a Brady reading only takes an hour. Mm-hmm. And then the jury's gone and deliberating. So there's a possibility at the very latest we will have a verdict by noon Friday.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you say Brady, is that jury instructions? Is that what you mean by that?
Jury instructions. It's called Brady instructions.
Okay.
And what there's a whole bunch, actually a book full of instructions you give a jury. Mm-hmm. And what the prosecution and defense has done is earlier in the process, they have sat down and decided, okay, you read this one, you read this one, you read this one, you read this one, you read this one. Mm-hmm. And I think, I'm trying to think, there was a Brady that they were going to put in, and it said something to the effect that the cops do not have to tell somebody that they're going to be arrested on the day for any reason. And she came, because this goes to the phone. She thought she was coming to get her phone back, and they didn't tell her that she was going to be arrested. They just did it.
Yeah.
And this Brady instruction is saying that they don't have the right. They don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They have the right to have you come in and then arrest you when you get there. And they don't have to tell you, say, hey, we want you to come down to the courthouse or down to sheriff's headquarters and we're going to arrest you when you get here.
Mm-hmm.
That defeats the whole purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They say, we're gonna give you back your phone. We're gonna discuss. What they said is they're gonna discuss the phone.
Right.
And so she walked in. They interrogated the snot out of her and say, "Okay, you're under arrest."
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, "You're tricking me. You did this. You did that. Blah 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 blah."
Right.
And it's not intentional. It's not intentional. I lost count.
Yeah,
that's the tagline of the day.
Yeah.
And they said, took the buccal swabs, and that was the end of her.
Yeah. I think.
But I think tomorrow's going to be interesting, and I think Friday is going to be. We should have a verdict sometime Friday.
Okay, you heard it here first, chat. Murt is throwing down, saying verdict on Friday. Let's hope it's earlier than later, because I have to. I have some driving to do, as do you. I don't want to be driving in the dark too far. But
I would think by 4:00 in the afternoon we're all going to be going home.
That would be perfect. That would be perfect. I hope I'm going to hold you to that. All right, buddy. I'm going to let you go. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Do you have any final last words before? Oh, you want to give us your YouTube? Why don't you tell us where well,
it's From the Desk of Murt Witness 1. And if you just type Murt Witness 1 in the search tab, it will give you it'll give you my page. Mm-hmm. Plus, you can go over to Twitter, and in my pinned tweet, my video that I put up as teasers is in the pinned tweet, and it goes right to my my YouTube page.
Okay. Yeah. So
and I will Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, be doing my own summary.
Okay. Fantastic. So somebody's asking to spell that. Lego, it's a lot to spell, but say it a little bit slower, Murt. Go ahead.
Okay, it's MURTWITNESSONE, all one word. And then you go From the Desk of Murt Witness 1.
Okay.
That's the name of the room, but usually if you type in Murt Witness 1, YouTube will take you to that channel.
We Aaron put your Twitter up on the chat. So anybody in the chat, you can see Murt on Twitter. Aaron put your link on.
It's at Twitter. It's a Murt Witness 1, and I'll type it.
Hold on. And their only fan put up From the Desk. So we have a couple things there.
Yes, put up my easel.
So chat, if you're looking for, there's Aaron just put that up, and then OnlyFan also put up From the Desk. Yeah, if you just do Murt Witness 1, you should be okay. But
yeah.
All right, awesome. All right, Murt, I'll let you go, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early.
Alrighty. Sit tight. See everybody tomorrow.
Thanks
for your popcorn.
Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night. All right, chat. There you have it. Murt is in the courtroom. Jules, we're not 100% sure if she will be or not. Hopefully she will. And we'll connect with you guys then. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Really appreciate it. If you like what you see, definitely support us by subscribing. We have memberships as well. We love to see you in the chat. So just come and like us, subscribe, hit the notification. I am going live during lunchtime breaks with Murt. He's recapping the morning, and then Jules has been recapping the nighttime. But Murt stepped in tonight. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us again, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.